Cleaning a River of Plastic by Ashley Bosecker. Plastic is extremely popular in today's society. You can find it in almost any industry. You can find it in food, health, beauty, and even our clothing industry. However, we have not created a complete circular recycling system for these plastics. Only a fraction of plastic is properly recycled or even able to be recycled, meaning the rest of plastic has to go somewhere. According to the National Ocean Service, plastic is the most prevalent type of marine debris found in our oceans. But how does the plastic get to our oceans? The plastics that we do throw away in our trash can fly off of garbage trucks due to the lightweight nature of most plastics. That means that those plastics now become litter that are able to be washed away by rain into drains or directly into waterways that eventually lead to the ocean. These plastics can now break down with exposure to sunlight and create microplastics, or smaller pieces of plastic, that can endanger wildlife and our own drinking water. Now let's look at the Tennessee River as a case study for this problem. The Tennessee River is a tributary of the Ohio River that runs through 4 different states: Mississippi, Kentucky, Alabama, and lastly, Tennessee. The river is 652 miles long and serves millions of citizens in its watershed, providing clean drinking water. The natural resources that the Tennessee River brings is invaluable to the local governments and communities. Hundreds of parks are established alongside the Tennessee River, encouraging an increase in tourism for many cities like Chattanooga, Nashville, and Huntsville. Many recreational activities happen on the river, including fishing, kayaking, boating, and whitewater rafting. The Tennessee Valley Authority, or TVA, is responsible for managing the waterway, ensuring that the river channel stays at 11 feet with various dams. Now let's get into the issue. The Tennessee River is currently considered the 4th most polluted river in the U.S. Common flooding in certain areas increases the levels of pollutants in the body of water. Chattanooga, Tennessee is a great example of where excessive rain in a time period can cause flooding of the river. By February of 2020, Chattanooga received 11 inches of rain and 3 inches of snow, which is double the average amount for that time of the year. The increased amount of precipitation caused the Tennessee River to rise 7 feet above normal and overwhelm the city's combined stormwater and sewage system. With this flooding, water levels rose high enough to collect litter and bring it directly into the river and surrounding streams. On top of that, these rainstorms also brought litter from roads and neighborhoods, bringing them into the storm drains that lead into the river. So, how do we solve this problem before too much plastic ends up in our waterways? Adopting technologies to prevent plastics from going into waterways and to remove current plastics from water can help to support river sustainability. By doing so, we can intercept this problem before it ends up in our oceans. Here are some different technologies that the Tennessee Valley could adopt to remove debris and garbage from our rivers and tributaries. The Ocean Cleanup, a nonprofit created to remove plastic from the ocean, has created a technology scaled down to work for rivers, and it is aptly named the Interceptor. The Interceptor works like a barge floating down a river with a barrier attached to the front. The barrier helps to catch trash from the water and moves it into the barge, which works as a container to hold the trash. When the barge is full, it will notify a boat to tow it to shore so it can be emptied and the trash can be properly disposed of. In a large river, the Interceptor is able to collect up to 110,000 pounds per day. The Mr. Trash Wheel is also another type of technology used to clean up rivers. It works like the Interceptor, but it's a lot cuter. Mr. Trash Wheel works as a semi-autonomous trash interceptor that works with nature and is powered by the sun and current. It is placed at the end of a river or tributary where trash is funneled towards the mouth of the machine. A conveyor belt brings the trash into the machine and drops it into a dumpster to be emptied later. Mr. Trash Wheel can collect up to 38,000 pounds of trash per day. Cleaning up debris once it is already in the river is tricky. River depth and width can fluctuate, making certain technologies unavailable. It is much more feasible to prevent the pollution before it even reaches the river. Technologies based on drainage systems have been created to do just this. The drain dome is a technology that is used to attach or set inside a drainage pipe. It is used as a primary defense after a rainstorm by catching all of the debris before it reaches into the system. The drain sock is also technology based on the drainage system. The drain sock is a net that is attached to a sewage discharge drain to catch litter that was washed down the system towards the river. And while the net still allows for proper water drainage, it catches large pieces of debris. Another option, aside from using technology, is increased volunteerism. There are current ways that citizens of the watershed work to clean the Tennessee River. Every year, a Tennessee River rescue is organized where volunteers pick up litter around the river. Most volunteers clean up what is on land, but some even kayak or scuba to get into more difficult areas. And there's me volunteering a few years ago. While technology and volunteerism are great assets for environmental health, nothing is more efficient than education. Educating locals on the importance of water quality and plastic reduction can make a huge difference in local, national, and even global environmental health.